Welcome back. Of course, it's the Daybreak Africa if you're just joining us from Ondo City here. I remain Micheal Obagiri. Today we have a very important and let me say very interesting topic before us. Today we'll be talking about responsibilities in a relationship. We're talking about the understanding roles of partners in a relationship. And who else is here to do better justice to it than our own very own in-house analyst, the man that is knowing everywhere, and you can call him the all-know-all of our own time here, the person of my own favorite analyst in the studio here, Fubara, Dede, Levi. A very good morning.
I'm blushing.
I can't help myself but to laugh out loud.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Well, definitely to discuss. I think you're already acquainted with this issue. Before I go into what brought about or what birthed this discussion, first of all, what's your stance on responsibilities given to partners? That's on the male folk and as well as the female folks. What's your stand?
I don't think anybody gives you any responsibility. I think you take it by yourself.
Okay.
Everybody in coming into a relationship, marriage or whatsoever, my dear, you know exactly what you are going in for. Forget the fact that no man is an island. Of course, it's true that no man is an island. So you are going to be with someone. Obviously, this person has his own way of doing things. The other person has their own way of doing things. So you having a partner, whether a husband, and I'm going to talk about this right now. You know, in the course of this discussion, I'm going to even go into marriages. Now, in my own stance, I'm talking about common sense and not marital experience. You don't have to know, you have to know some things about marital experience just with common sense. Marriage is, some people used to say that marriage is just a certificate, but no, it actually isn't just a certificate. Like, till death do us part, you're with this person to the very end time. And now most cases of divorce, you know that it's just because nobody just wants to bow down to, just like what you said, some responsibilities that you really want to take on. That's just the truth. And I think you going into marriages, you have a plan. You want to end up with someone, you want to have something to do with a particular somebody. Now your future, which is a marriage, and your future is just your future is telling your present what you made in the past. That's exactly what marriage is all about. In the past you said that I'll get married, I'll have a child, I'll send the child to school, I will do this and I will do that. You think it's just a bed of roses. No, so many things, so many upside down is definitely going to come on. So it's just the way you take these responsibilities, and before you even go into marriage or to have a partner, but then you know how this person was behaving. Marriage doesn't change anyone. You see, we have seen some cases where someone will say that he changed all of a sudden when we got married. No, you ignore the red signs, baby. That's just the truth. That's exactly what happened. You did ignore the red sign, the red flags. So in the past, whatever you did say and whatever you are going through, so many things is definitely going to happen. You met your husband as a boyfriend, you dated, he loves football so much. Like, he really loves football. Like, every Saturday, you don't take it away from you can't take it away from him. That is his own time. And then you want to get married and you want to tell him to stop watching football. How is that going to make sense? It's definitely going to cause a very huge problem. And now the thing is that in what some scholars were just saying is that, you see, in marriages or in relationships or responsibilities, my dear, there are some things that if you can't do without, or there are some things that definitely is going to affect your mental health or whatever thing about you, don't even go into it. Don't foster it to this person. Don't. And we also some people nowadays, we are trying to date out of pity, and some other things, and then at the end of the day we just try to push ourselves away just to make sure that we just want to make this person always happy, and at the end of the day you lose yourself. Then it's just like a band. There's a particular time that you just can't take it anymore, hence the problem, hence the divorce, and definitely in marriage is going to affect your folks, it's definitely going to affect your children. There are some responsibilities that you just have to take by yourself. You just have to push. There's something I really want to say about responsibilities again. you know that sometimes there are some friends or some cockles that you keep, they will either make or mar your relationship with anybody. It's definitely, that one is just the truth, to make or mar you. So now there's something about this spirit that comes with relationships, marriages, and the rest of it. We have some people that they don't necessarily share the same idea with you in terms of forgiveness, in terms of marriages, in terms of perseverance, in terms of so many things. They don't. That's what a very popular man of God was saying, Joshua Selman. There are some good people that you caught. Good is relative in different aspects. There are some people, there are some good people, they can't lend you money. There are some of your friends, they can't lend you money, they can't do some particular things for you, but there are some bigger things they just can't. I'm not saying necessarily cut them out, but there's a way that you can put them on arm's length so that they are not definitely going to affect some particular aspect of your life. That's just the truth. That's a big responsibility you have to take on. Now, as a lady, you have a very good friend that you grew up with. She has her own mind, different ways, different beliefs and everything when growing up. You have the different mind, different beliefs and everything when growing up. She doesn't like cooking for her husband, but she has been so good to you in the past. Definitely, you growing up with this person, in a way she may influence your decision because you love that you've been a friend for a very long time. But in a way, you have to know that everybody have what they bow down to. This particular person doesn't definitely like cooking for her husband. She doesn't like it. They feel like men no go cook and go chop there. And there are some people that just grow up spoiled. They did so many things. They got everything by themselves. They don't work hard to do some things for some particular set of people. Now, this set of people, don't you think they're definitely going to influence you or influence the particular type of husband that you are trying to get married to? Obviously, her preference and everything, she brings it to her own man and is okay with it. With that, she may want to try to influence you to do it to your own man, and at the end of the day, she keep hers and you lose yours. That's definitely going to happen. You see, there's something I'm definitely even going to talk about men. Stoicism pays a lot. Stoicism, like being a stoic.
Before you go into something, I know you have a lot of.
You know, Angela wanted to say something too.
Yeah. You said something in the first place when you started this conversation.
Yeah.
You made an analogy about a man that loves watching football, Saturday thing and everything. We do see a lot of this situation a lot, but I want to believe that in a relationship there is room for compromise.
Of course.
There's room for you to say, okay, I want to weigh the love and respect and everything I have for this person and this particular thing that I want to. Don't you think there are some sacrifices which might amount to responsibility that you need to take for the greater good of your relationship and not just your personal good alone?
You know, at the end of the day, you can't live your life for someone else, even if this person is your do or die. It's just the truth. There are some compromises that must and will be made. Do you know that most statistics of mental health is just because we are living our life for others? There are so many things that may please you as a man, that may affect you. So many connections, so many things that you see out there that definitely you just can't get from your wife or from your husband. So women like shopping. Like every weekend, they take it out for themselves to go for shopping. You met this woman. She likes shopping. Now in marriage, you got married to her. You want her to stop shopping because obviously she feels a greater responsibility to be at home with you every single time, to compromise her own shopping attributes just to make sure you are happy. Definitely going to affect her own mental health and exactly what she likes doing. So there is a limit for a way a man or a woman can compromise in every relationship. Obviously, what is even compromise? Compromise is just something that you obviously cannot do without before, but now you try as much as possible to do without it, just for the sake of yourself or for someone else. It's just the truth. That's just what compromise is. But there are just some things that you just can't do without. Like you had this serene life before someone definitely came into your life. You had a to-do list where you go out to meet. We have some social gatherings even nowadays where you go out to meet some people, you get more experience, you get so many things from some people. And at the end of the day, your wife, you know, women, no offense, they're mostly built like that. Attention, love, care, and so many. I'm not saying men too are like that, but on a greater percentage, they need it even way more. And someone always, and that can be controlled too. It's just estrogen that is playing all these things. Unlike us, which that's just, it can be controlled. If you even want to start going, I'm not a woman, but at least I know some things through research, but I stand to be corrected in every way. I can't talk about the women. I always stand to be corrected. So they always need this thing every single time. And this is what simping is. Even that's why simping is mostly bad. Do you know that a greater percentage of, I'm not going to call them this coined word, this feminism, like, you know, we have like a different narratives of feminism in Nigeria. It's mostly for the good that they want. It's mostly for the good that they want. So you want to let me not digress. I'll definitely going to come back to that. So at the end of the day, you want me to compromise so many things, not so many things, some few things that is definitely going to affect my health. Imagine your wife telling you not to go to a golf club where you're going to meet more billionaires or rich people that are definitely going to help you invest in some key areas. In, let's say, I want you to be at home. But before you got married to her, these are ways you were meeting so many people, trying to build your profile or to get so many things from other people before you got married to her. And now you've gotten married to her, you've been with her at home, you come back from work by 5, you close Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're always at home by 5, she sees you every time. But for it's just the truth. There are some compromise too that can be made, but just for some weekend, when I want to go out, I want to go to a golf club, I want to go and see some people, which definitely you are going to even bring a greater interest to your life. She said, no, I want you home. You're always going out. What is even doing this? And the man was saying, he said, no, okay, no problem. My wife is only needing me. I'm going to stay at home. I'm going to compromise. And at the end of the day, if there's a big problem, just take the grace of God for that woman to still be with you. You lose your job, you have no influence, you have nobody close to you, just because you always wanted to be with her at home. At the end of the day, you lose your job, you lose your marriage, and you lose it. And then she's going to see you in a different way, not knowing that she was the one that made you do this in a particular way. Do you know that there are so many ideas that women bring? It comes from most of their feelings. I'm not saying most does not come from their brain, don't get me wrong. It comes from most of the way they are feeling and not basically logic. That's why most of the times you have to just explain some things to them, and women are so understanding, even more than men. They try as much as possible to see reasons with you to do so, but in a way where a woman is not understanding. Even the Bible even said it, it's better for a man to tie his leg and drown into the river than for him to marry a troublesome woman. That one is true. But there are some women that are so understanding. Instead of you to simp and compromise greatly to stay at home for her, and always simping and always doing so many things just for her, at the end of the day, you are not developing yourself. She's living her life and you're living your life for her. That's 2-0. That's not 1-1. That doesn't make sense. It's not, there's no bracket in it at all. So that's exactly what I'm going to say. There are some compromise that can be made. But as a man, I think as a man, as a woman, two people coming together, there are so many things that you just have to come to conclusion about before you even go further.
But from what you've been saying so far, if I get you right,
yes.
Now, on the part of men, especially, let's talk about financial stability.
Yeah, okay.
On the part of men, you've grown your catalog and everything, your profile, everything. Your business is successful on this particular thing, because there's a situation going on the social media now, especially about location and relocation of the thing. Now, my question comes in now. Now, you have built your profile, you've built your business over the years.
Okay.
A woman that you also love has also built her profile and everything over the years in a different geographical zone.
Okay.
She's doing well for herself, you are doing well for yourself.
Okay.
Now, if we have to go by the analogy of I don't want to compromise my connection and everything, we all can just stay and remain single. But because marriage is a blessed institute, where we want to come in, what is going to be your advice on these notes?
I think we're all getting it wrong. Like I said when I was saying the first time, there's just a particular understanding you both can come to. I've seen cases where someone is working in Lagos and her husband is working in Abuja, and they rarely see themselves. You know, it doesn't really make sense. That greater connection is there. But you can't tell me that you meet a woman, let's say you go to Abuja, you go to a particular place, you meet a woman, like let's say she has a very big restaurant, she has built herself, built neighbors, built so many, like her legacy, her portfolio is so. Imagine you going to Calabar and telling Dabashi that has built a big business in Lagos to relocate down to you to Calabar to you. If you like, be a billionaire in Calabar. How does she start? What does she want to do? The process and everything. Let's just imagine, God forbid, imagine she closes down her business in Lagos just to come to Calabar to live with you. How does she start? With which capital? Before she even starts building the building, a food stall and everything, getting more people. It's going to, when she did it in Lagos, do you know the kind of toll it took on her for her to go and start all over again? All in the case of marriage, it doesn't really make sense. And if she can't compromise for you and you can't compromise for her, then I see no reason why you guys should be together. I mean, there are so, they say that it always say that the beautiful ones are yet to be born. You meet someone and for some reason, see, this is just the issue that is even happening. Even so many people that are getting them married to themselves with you know, you're AS, your wife is AS, but for some reason you guys will get married to, and we have technological advancement that can make sure that it doesn't transfer SS, that is sickle cell, doesn't transfer them. But for some reason you guys don't, you live with someone 5, 6, 10 years and you found out later on. It's difficult. I know it's very difficult to leave someone just because this particular person is AS. But imagine now you give birth to a child, that some children, I know I'm not going to call her name, she hated her parents just because they know they are both AS, but because of love they gave birth to her and she kept on suffering. Small dog, she has fallen sick. Small cold, she has fallen sick. So many things, she has fallen sick just because the parents could not just leave themselves because of some particular things. They were not seeing the future. So now a woman in Lagos or some other places, you want her to leave everything to come down to you, and you, a man, obviously you cannot go and meet her. So why not just come to the conclusion that, and I've seen some, it happens, they find a way to be visiting themselves, and they know that, let's say in 60, when they are 60, that's I'm happy for them. When they were now 60, they found out that they found someone to take care of the business. Yes, the marriage.
Would you advise that?
And I wouldn't. But if you are okay with it, then fine.
That is why I asked the question.
See,
if we are all saying we want to just protect,
do you know that,
and whatever we do, is it not just good that we just remain single? There's something with
advice. Advice is a statement made by someone that you are definitely going to look into to agree if you will take it or not. I cannot make an advice for everyone. I'm talking about my own self. Besides, I'm not going to see a woman. I cannot be that kind of man that is going to see a very successful lady and tell her to close down everything just to come and say.
It doesn't have to be closed down.
How do you want her to manage her business? How do you want her to do some particular things?
Run their business without being there.
Depending on the greater percentage of, I've seen some CEOs like 085 or some places that I know, they have this kind of franchise that you have so many people that can handle that business for you, but they have an headquarters where they visit every single time, and the husband and the wife is always there. They always come there. So I think that if both of you, before she even got this greater business, if both of you come together, like I said, it's just an agreement. It's very simple. Let's find what we can do to sustain this marriage without each of us leaving something that we have built for ourselves. They visit themselves, like I said, on the weekends, some months. They come back, they visit themselves, they go back to their original places, they find someone that will take care of the business, or they do some other thing. But if your wife is not, or your girlfriend is not up to that level, where you know that she's the only one that can handle this business properly, you want her to close it down all in the name of love. What kind of love is that? That's pure wickedness. It doesn't really make sense.
Okay.
And I'm not done. I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to the men again.
Okay.
You know, as a man, there's this peace that women brings to our life. It definitely happens. It's just the truth.
Right woman,
good woman, oh, God bless you. You were saying the same thing with me. There's this peace that a good woman brings to your life. That's why some men don't really think. It's just feeling. You want her to close everything just because of you. You are being selfish. There's no two ways about it. You are really being selfish because you don't want to think about what she's doing. But if she does not want, you know that some women say they don't even know what they really want until you tell them how they can do about this for it not to affect our marriage or for it to affect our marriage. They've grown so in love with where they are and some other things. There's a different ways they can handle it, but they just won't because of how attached they are to the place. So it's just you guys to come to understanding. How can we do this? Is it possible you move down to me and your business will still be flourishing, or we can be visiting here totally? Or you see that my own business or my own work takes a greater toll on me and I need someone that can be helping me. I'm not saying anyone is bigger, but if there's a way that yours can be managed without you definitely being there, is it possible that you move down with me? If she says no, then let's find a way around it. Okay, no problem. I even have a colleague, her husband is not even here, and she's definitely in Ondo. So and they come back to an agreement because they know that at the end of the day they're just looking for difference on the side. At the end of the day, when they have what it takes to be able to move away from individual places to a particular standpoint, then they can benefit the proceed of it. But if there is no way, that you guys can come to understanding, I don't think it really makes. I will not even advise. In fact, I'm advising myself. I will not even bring someone to leave a franchise or to leave a business or to leave wherever she is. And I'm definitely the story we're even talking about is about doing, like, there are some places like the island and the mainland. In her own feeling, she knows what she wants, she knows what she's doing. In the island, like, you have more connections and so many people that can help your franchise. But going to the mainland, although there are connections, but there are just some particular places in the mainland that is not as equipped as the island, and she feels that she cannot move down to the mainland. What about what she's doing? What about some particular things that she's doing? You know, some of these people in Lagos, they are mostly self-employed, where they go for delivery, and they all know the cook and cleanings of everywhere in that particular place. And you want her to start all over, moving down to your place. Some women that even do this, for women watching out there, maybe they should really think. I'm not saying they shouldn't move in with their husbands, or if their husband, but really think, how can you go about things first before you drop your whole life? For you have a life, your husband has a life. That's why I said it's 2-0 to live your life for someone else. She's living her life and I'm dashing my own life to her. She's 2-0, it's not 1-1. We are definitely going to just come together to build to build something really nice that we both can benefit from. Not you be benefiting and I'll be making you benefit even way more.
Now the question there is, when children start settling in? Let's say we both agree. Okay. Both of them will agree that, okay, you stay with your franchise, I stay with mine, we come visit ourselves and the rest. But you know that upbringing of children is a very vital point in the life of a family. So how do you navigate this whole thing?
It all takes the one that requires a greater sacrifice. See, it's just the truth. Both of you have to come. Someone has to be able to sacrifice on particular things. And as a man, look at your own franchise. I said it before and I keep on saying it again, and I will repeat myself. As a woman, look at your own franchise. As a man, look at your own franchise. Is there a way I can leave this particular place and still be making it without me being here? If not, then it all comes to the fact that the man can always be visiting, the truth. But you see that thing, if you want to really build a family that you both have to be together, it all comes down to a very good conclusion that we must stay in a particular place, and it's one that must take a greater sacrifice. Now, I'm not trying to compromise my statement or contradict my statement that I said the first time, because at the end of the day, if you are taking a bigger sacrifice, what you are definitely going to get from that business will not be enough for you leaving it to go and train up a child. Do you know how expensive it is to train up a child? Cerelac was 13,000 the last time I checked, and some other things. If you don't have what it takes, your baby will be drinking Zobo. I'm not saying Zobo is not nutritional, but there are some things that your baby will be taking just to make sure that you feed that. So I've seen it. I had a uncle that was working offshore. It's 2 weeks, 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out. They increased it to 1 month in and 2 weeks out. But he was always going to work and he was always coming to see his family, and his wife was faithful and everything. So he was, but I'm going to tell you, his prayer, the grace of God, understanding for this your wife, whenever you are coming to visit all the time. See, I'm even going to say this. What are the hardest jobs in Nigeria? We have aeronautics engineering, we have the pilots, we have medicine, and we have laws and some other engineering courses.
The military.
Yeah, and the military too. But you know that they have time. They have time to be seeing their family. There's no job that takes you 365 days.
There are some that take them for years. When they transfer
exactly,
them to very
especially the people that are going to SpaceX and some other places. There are some, but it's understanding. If you know that, hey, my wife is not the type of person that there are good divorces. Do you know that not all divorces are bad? Depending on how, not the word divorce is definitely a bad thing. It's a bad, but there are some understanding divorces that you both just have to, and both of you will be happy. I'm going to a particular place. I'm going to come back in some, it's just understanding too anyway. I'm going to come back in some particular years, in some particular months. I'm not going to be around. Are you okay with it? No. Okay, if there's nothing we can do, I just think that we should divorce so that you find someone that can be able to have the time that you need, That's splendid. That's good.
Are we not playing with love?
See, the thing you guys call love.
Because I understand
reality.
I understand reality.
Exactly,
and
that's
I
reality.
understand love. But now, if the way you're making it sound like we
First
can always find our way
First
out
Corinthians
of it.
13, 1 to 13. When it talks about love, it says love is patience, love is kind, love is understanding. And you cannot love someone if you don't love yourself. So if you know that I cannot accept it, if someone is to do it to me, why would you, all in the sake of love, want someone to compromise that big for you? You know, this love of it, we are taking it extremely far, because we're not coming into reality. We're not coming to reality. I cannot be with you. I'm going to space. I'm an engineer, aeronautic engineer. I'm a pilot. I will always be traveling from places to places. I will not be with you. Let's just say I got the job after marrying you, and you know that I cannot be with you at this particular time. Let's just come to an agreement. If you're not okay with it, why not just leave? This is not, it's just a big understanding.
You're making it sound so easy.
Oh my God, it's not. I didn't say it was easy. It's not just easy, but I think that for you guys not to be able, because at the end of the day, you're not going to start seeking love or attention or understanding from someone else that is not your spouse. And what is that? That's cheating. And that's definitely bad. Idolatry and everything, definitely bad. So why not just come to an agreement? I'm not supporting divorce or whatsoever. I support understanding on a greater note. But I'm marrying my husband. I'm sleeping with him every day on the bed. He wakes up with me. We see ourselves, and I'm not going to see him for 3 years. If I cannot stay without 3 years with my husband, then I should not be waiting for him. It's just very easy. Don't cheat yourself. Don't do anything, because at the end of the day, you are just committing a sin on your matrimonial bed and doing so many bad things to yourself. So
I don't think Angela agrees with you.
No, of course. You guys should say anything you want to say, and I will give you a different logic to it.
Well, I think I've left you and Michael to keep talking and talking, but we go back to the drawing board. However, the story that prompted this topic obviously had to do with the lady who wakes up at 4:30 a.m. to cook for her husband. Although we're not particularly talking about marriages, but yet again, we are talking about sacrifices that are made in relationships, responsibilities of a man to his woman, responsibilities of a woman to a man. Now, if you go through the stories and you go through comments during the time when this was hot, you will discover that there were a certain group of individuals who came out and were against her. And some were like, how will you wake up early in the morning because of a man? That's about the other side of feminists who were against her action. However, on the other hand, some people were busy endorsing her for the effort she made. Now, my question exactly is, what is expected of a woman to do, or what is expected of a lady to do in a relationship?
Are you talking about a lady or
let's start with the lady.
Just the lady.
Let's start with the lady.
I'm going to ask you a question right now. Okay, I know I'm the interviewer and you're the interviewer. What makes you want to marry a man? Is it not when you see husband attributes in him that you agree to want to marry him? Is that not true?
True.
So how can someone be a husband material, husband attribute before you agree to put that ring on or to sign a certificate? It's not when he's behaving like a husband. It's when he's behaving like a husband, right? That's when you agree to marry him. Okay, we're just starting from a woman. I really want to come to men also. So for you to marry a man, you must see husband attributes in him. And the man must have been performing husband things. That's just the truth.
Sure.
He must have been performing it. So now, as a woman or as a girl, before you marry this guy too, wouldn't I really want to come back to a guy? As a man, for a woman to marry, she must be able to perform some wife things, wife duties, before you finally agree to put the ring. I'm just asking a question. Your answer will determine what I'm going to say.
Yes.
Is that true?
Very
yes
true.
or not? Good. So now, do you know that there are some girls that can't cook for their boyfriends by 5 or by 6? There are some ladies that just can't cook. Their whole idea is that I can't cook for this boy until he marries me. Do you know that there are some ladies like that?
True.
And wife duties are for you to cook for your husband, right? But there are some ladies that don't want to cook. They don't want to perform that wife duties, but they want the man to marry them. They are just there. So now this is God so good. This is even a married woman. Now, what even propounded this was because someone said that there's a woman that woke up by 5 to cook for her husband. There was an emoji she put, a teary emoji, and now it got mixed feelings and mixed understanding. So people were saying that the tear emoji is just like she's a feminist, like she dey pity her, she dey cry, like doing so many things that why would even a woman be waking up by 4:30 to cook for us. This lady we are talking about, she has gotten up to 10 million, and from properties everything is up to 30 million. Bad girl doesn't pay on the long run. It doesn't though. It's just the truth. I'm not going to lie for anybody. Bad girl doesn't play. Your virtue and everything, you being good, it takes time, but when it comes, it is so sweet, just like what is going on now. Let's even go back to the drawing board. Her husband, she doesn't work. It's not the truth. From what I read, she doesn't work. You know Lagos. You know Lagos. You people know Lagos. You don't have to be there to know how stressful it is to even go to work. Some people wake up by 4, 5, or to do some things. Now, I'm definitely going to say this. There are so many things that just common sense and hard work is going to solve that prayer will not even solve. Prayer is definitely not going to solve it. God, I need the husband. God, I need the husband. God, I need the husband. God is definitely going to give you someone that's definitely going to come to your life, but it's just you that's definitely going to keep that man. It's just you that's definitely, and there are some instructions to do so, to teach that man. Why didn't God just part the Red Sea when they got to the Red Sea? Why did God give an instruction to Moses to take up the rod and point to the Red Sea for it to divide? Because you have to take up a particular instruction for you to meet your promised land. It's just the truth. You have to take up some particular instructions or some particular things to do. God had what it takes to just depart the Red Sea. When Jesus healed the blind man's eye, why didn't you just touch his eye and say, "Oh, yeah, be healed"? Why did you have to use spit and rub clay and put on his eye and tell him to go to the river, giving him these duties just for him to do, to see his eyesight? Well, you know, we are not taking some instructions to heart. That's why our problems keep on happening. Now, there are some things that you can solve with just common sense. Your husband wakes up by 6, by 7. He doesn't have time to cook. You're at home, you're just lying down. He doesn't have time to cook. He doesn't have time to do anything at home. Then he goes to a workplace. A lady is out there admiring him. We don't really know. Maybe she was just being nice, and that's just what it comes at. So many cheating scandals and some other things started from just innocent feelings and just innocent friendships. And at the end of the day, it graduates. Now, he goes to his workplace. A woman sees him. This guy he doesn't have anything, and she cooks. She brings 2 spoons to come and give to him. He has seen the tactics and everything, and it keeps on graduating. It keeps on. Let's just assume his wife didn't cook for him. He keeps on eating this particular food. Then there are some days she will do so many things, and it will keep on liking her sometimes. Now this is what happens. She brings food for him by 1. He eats the first day. There are some days that, since you've eaten, let me just give you this food by 5, and he's definitely going to eat that food by that 5 before he goes. And he goes home, his wife say, "Honey, come and eat." He say, "Don't worry, I've eaten." And there are some lies that they tell their wife just for them to not overreact. And I bought food in one particular place and I ate, and she say, "Okay, but I cook." He said, "No problem, now keep it. Yeah, keep it another time." And this is someone that likes fresh food. And the next day she warms it and you say, "Honey, come and take this food to work now." And you say, "No, don't worry, when I come back I'll eat it." Or she will not force herself to eat it. He goes to work, it's a fresh food with 2 spoons waiting for him to come and eat. And at the end of the day, this thing keeps on graduating, it keeps on going. It's definitely not going to start liking this other person, and it's not going to cause problem in your marriage just because you can't wake up and cook. Let's just assume she even has a job. It also comes down to the understanding I talked to you about before. Before you married him, you know that this man cannot cook. You know. And you know that there are some relationships that someone has to take responsibilities for both of you. It happens. You know that this man cannot cook before you marry him, and you want to marry him and you want him to start waking up early to be cooking for himself. And you know the one that is definitely now going to be doing that. Of course, it's just relationship. Someone has to take some particular things and some particular duties just for the sake of both of you. Whether bring down to washing of clothes, whether bring down to throwing of the dustbin, whether bring down to go and pay NEPA bill or to do some particular things, one of you is better at doing it, so that the both of you is definitely going to enjoy the proceed of it. So now you don't wake up and someone else is doing it for your husband. Like I said, there are so many things that started with just innocent friendship. And at the end of the day, and this is not even prayer. God, please make my husband not to see another woman. Let him be seen only me. And you are not, like I said, I made some analogies, some instructions. They are definitely going to follow to just make sure you keep your husband, or to just make sure you keep your wife. It's just simple. There are so many things that prayers won't solve. It's just common sense and commonness.
All right, we're out of time. Sorry to cut you like that. We're out of time, however, but I would like you to just conclude in a few minutes, or rather in a minute, how you think partners should work hand in hand in order to help their relationship and keep a healthy relationship.
I think we have compromise, and we have a compromise that we just can't compromise about. I'm going to use that word. So if both of you just can't seem to come to an understanding or to a particular round table to do some particular things, don't even further that relationship to marriage. Don't. My dear, nobody changes in marriage. There are some little things that you were really not saying, and we are not even saying the truth. Prayer, you see this powerful word called prayer, it really matters, because we have some people that pretend. Some people can pretend for as long as possible. So it's not just finding every possible means to see the person's red flags, because love blinds you, or there are some, so they say, and it's the truth. Love blinds you to some particular things, but just in some way, prayer, hard work, understanding, and some things opens you, knowledge, and some things opens you. Bad friendship and overbringing, allowing your family or your siblings also have more say in your relationship. I'm not saying that you should not tell them in some particular things. What's our advice to just pray about is knowledge to your own self, knowledge, understanding, and God should give you a great partner. And at the end of the day, when both of you come together, there are some compromise that if you both know that we cannot come to a round table, let's just don't say when we reach that bridge we'll cross it, when we reach that bridge we'll cross it, when we reach that sea we'll climb boat and cross that sea. You guys should talk about it. Trash it now. If one is not changing for another, or if you see that a particular change is definitely going to affect you on the long run, just break it off peacefully. You don't even have to do it in every way. You know, some people start saying it's not you, it's me, all those type of statements. It's us, it's both of us. We just can't come to this greater compromise. You can't leave your place. Of course, I have a very big franchise here. I can't leave it to come and stay with you there. Is there nothing we can do? I don't think there's nothing we can do, except you can come here. Oh, I have something here. Okay, is there no way we can be visiting ourselves? No, we just have to be together all the time. Oh yeah, come here now. No, I can't come here. Oh yeah, you come. Okay, no, let's just leave it. You're here. So I just think that there are some duties that you have to see. You know, I keep on saying that there are some things, especially ladies, some men do it too, especially ladies that say that if he's not doing this, I'm not going to marry him. But there are some things that you will not. Do you know that there are some girls that can't wash their boyfriend's clothes because of some experience that they've had in the past? Is going to see me finish. It's the truth. It happens. It's going to see me finish. You just can't wash your boyfriend. And you, self as a man, why can't you even wash your clothes? That's another thing too. I think that it just boils down to the fact that, let's just say you are sick, or you are stressed up with some particular things, and your clothes are dirty. There are some ladies that they won't just touch your clothes at the end of the day. They won't do it. I'm trying to round up here. They won't just do it. But I'm not just saying that just be packing clothes for someone to just be washing it. As a dry cleaner, doesn't really make sense. But there are some things that this man may be so occupied, but she will not touch his clothes. Why? Because he has not married me. We've seen so many of faithful women going out to some particular ladies. It's just my boyfriend now. I can go out with you. Let's go here. It's just my boyfriend now. This man is not going to see a wife in you to wife you, but you want to see a husband in him. There are so many compromises that we can take at this particular stage, so that we are definitely going to see the promised land. There are some instructions, some due instructions that we can follow, so that we're definitely going to see the promised land. That's just all I can say. I think there should be a part 2 on this. We talked about the women now. We've
yes.
really
talked
about the men. We need to talk about how some men are sims, especially I'm not going to mention some region in some places, but we've seen Sims, and it's definitely going to affect them and the future generation too.
All right,
posterity will be affected if we don't.
We'll definitely talk about that sometime next week. Thank you for coming on board.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a pleasure to always having the program.
However, you've heard it all. However, we'll be having a part 2 of this particular discussion. That will be sometime next week. However, stay tuned, and this will be drawing the curtain on this episode of Daybreak Africa. See you again next time, and now we'll be handing over to Lagos. I am Angela Daku.
And I will always say I'm very sure you did enjoy the program, and always we'll give you the best from our own hand here. I remain Micheal Obagiri.